Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be walking you through using a tool called PythonAnywhere.com. This is a great tool for writing Python code in a browser-based IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So let's take a look. I opened up a web browser, in this case Chrome. I'm going to type in Python Anywhere. This is what it'll look like when you first get set up. And I want you to see that even though it has pricing and sign up here, this is a free site. You don't have to pay for anything. In this case, since I've already logged in, or excuse me, I already have an account, I'm not going to bother setting up a new one, but I will show you that under their plans and pricing, you can pay for more compute time and more capability. But in this case, if you wanted to start just a free account, you can just click create a beginner account right there. It'll ask you to sign in with a username and password. I'm going to go ahead and get started with my account here. All right. So the first thing I want to show you here is the dashboard. When you first take a look at this application, you'll notice it's got quite a few different pieces. I have my consoles. A console is a place where you can type code directly at a command line and have it run your statements in real time. You can also create files, which are scripts that have multiple statements already pre-written that can run together. I am not currently using the notebooks feature, so I'm not going to spend much time talking about that one. And then I also have not yet created any web apps, but that's another feature that this site has that's really worth taking a look if you get a chance. So I'll show you kind of in order what these look like. Under consoles, you'll notice that I have choices to choose between different interpreters for Python, different versions. I also can use a bash console, which is the command line version that Linux computers use, or MySQL. SQL is a structured query language. It's a database language that lets you query databases. In this case, we're going to be mostly using the Python consoles. Notice that I don't currently have any set up here, but this is a place to come back to if you run into the issue of having too many consoles open at the same time. It'll prompt you and tell you, hey, with your free account, you can only use a couple at a time, so you can close them here if you need to. Let's take a look at the files interface. So here in the files, I can create new directories to hold my files, or I can just create one in this overarching directory. So you can tell that I've already created quite a few different ones. Let's take a look at one of these files and see what they look like. So I'm going to find an example. Let's try Python examples right here. So notice it's already got some code written here. You can tell which pieces are Python code based on the color difference. These are showing that this is a comment because it's all commented out in green. I've got the three quotation marks right there that mark the beginning of a multi-line comment, and then three quotations that mark us at the end that mark the end of a multi-line comment. And then here you can see where my code begins. The variable names are in black. One of the Python command words, print, is shown there in blue. So if we were to run this, let's see what it'll look like when we run it. It opens up a console here down below. And then it gives me this prompt, please enter your name. So if I were to enter my name, Clay, and press enter, it says the string in username, the variable username, is Clay. Great. If I wanted to exit this console, I can type EXIT. I can use the open and close parentheses and close out. And so that lets me make sure that this console is not taking up some of my compute time if I wanted to use another program. So I'm going to come back and click on Files again. And for those of you who are students in CIS1 who are going to be completing some online coding as part of our Python module, what you can do to create a new program here is to type in the name of whatever you want your program to be. In this case, we would usually use a last name, underscore first initial, and then let's say you're doing lab 12. And the really important thing to notice here is that when I name the file, I need to put a dot and then py. That .py part is really important because that tells Python Anywhere that this is a Python script. If I don't include that, it's not going to let me run it as code. So that part is really important to include. When I click New File, oh, it's telling me this file already exists. So let's go back. Let's take a look at that file. So I've got McLaughlin C lab12.py right there. I'm going to click on it to open mine. And notice that this is the lab assignment that I've already created based on what's in our textbooks. So here I've got a hashtag and then my name. So I'm commenting out this line. This is a single line comment, and it starts with the hashtag and then has just my name, the date, and then the name of our game, Adventure Game, Tunnels and Dragons. So all three of these are comments. They're not going to run in the code when we actually run the code. They're just to show us, for the programmers, what's going on here. And so then the first line that's not commented is here on line 4. It's got a print command. It says, "You are lost underground in a maze of tunnels." The next line imports the random library, so we can choose random numbers. And then under danger tunnel, it assigns a random integer between 1 and 2 to the variable danger tunnel. I've commented out this print statement because I don't want the user to see which tunnel the dragon is in for our danger tunnel. Tunnel choice is set to 0 as a starter value. Then we have a while loop that says while tunnel choice less than 1 or tunnel choice greater than 2. So in any case where we have a number less than 1 or greater than 2, it's going to keep prompting the user with this next line to choose for this variable tunnel choice. It has an integer cast, which means it's going to take this string that we get back from this input statement and turn it into an integer. And then it prompts the user, choose tunnel 1 or tunnel 2. When the user types in a valid answer, either a 1 or a 2, it turns it into an integer, it stores it in tunnel choice, and then it prints out you chose tunnel, and then the value of the variable, value of tunnel choice. It next does an if statement to check and see if tunnel choice is equal to danger tunnel. Notice the 2 equal signs there. This is the equality operator saying, are these two variables equal to each other? It then prints out, you entered a tunnel with a dragon, watch out. If this is true, we get the tunnel, the message about the tunnel with the dragon. If it's not true, in the else statement, it prints, you entered an empty tunnel. You are safe for now. So let's run that. All right, and so it prints, you are lost underground in a maze of tunnels. Choose tunnel 1 or tunnel 2. Notice that it didn't print our comments up here. It just starts with our very first print statement on line 4. And I'm going to try just to show you what happens if I enter a variable that's not within that range of correct values. So if I enter 4, for example, that's not between 1 and 2. It falls under the if the tunnel choice is greater than 2, keep prompting. So it asks me again, tunnel choice 1 or 2. What if I enter a 0? Same thing. It says, please enter a 1 or a 2. So I'm going to enter a 1. You chose tunnel 1. You entered a tunnel with a dragon. Watch out. Oh no, so I've already run into the dragon in this game. And so it boots me out. I'm done with the game, and that would be the end of it. Now, in some future labs, it may be worth changing some of this game and updating it and doing some different things with it to make it more interesting. But for now, that's the only functionality we're going for, is to be able to use some print statements, to use some input statements, to use a while loop, and to use an if statement to test for those variables. All right, I think that is enough for right now. So I'm going to close my program. Let's come back here. I would make sure to save my work once I've already got it done. Now, if I go back to the Files menu, if I wanted to download this game and then be able to upload it on Canvas or use it somewhere else, I would find my file right here. Here's mine. And I have this little download arrow that I would click on. That would let me download my file to my computer. Then I can upload it from there to Canvas to submit the assignment. So I hope that's helpful for you. And I hope you get a chance to play around some with this program. It's a really excellent one to get accustomed to. It's a great integrated development environment, IDE, that you can use just in a browser. And as the name suggests, you can write Python anywhere. Thanks for watching. I will talk with you soon.